be going. How's your weekend been, Coop?
Pretty good. Watched Harry Potter 2, Chamber of Secrets.
Any reason, or just because you felt like it?
No, I was with some friends. One of my friends here has recently reread through the Harry Potter series,
Nice.
and thus is now doing a Harry Potter rewatch. And I joined in on Harry Potter 2 at the Chamber of Secrets.
That's a good one.
Pretty good. I think it's hold up for the most part. Some of the acting, little so.
Well, yeah, they're children.
Well, yeah, but I mean it's good. It's okay. It's passable. Special effects hold up. All the practical effects and such.
Yeah, yeah. I
Dobby
mean,
was a little more annoying than I remembered, though.
yeah. People loved him in the end.
Yeah, but too, he's kind of a that man's a bit hard on himself.
Yeah, he is. Stupid,
Dobby's
stupid.
Yeah, he literally does the stupid idiot,
Yeah,
idiot.
he is. That's what makes him funny.
Yeah, good movie. It's also like 3 hours long. I didn't
Is
realize
it really?
2:41, but like still,
That
I didn't
is-
realize it was that long of a movie.
That is a heck of a movie.
Because I'm like, is this some sort of, does HBO Max have some sort of like extended feature? But no, I looked it up. That's just that's actually just how long the movie is. I guess they just really like to vibe in Hogwarts.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of which one is my favorite.
That's an easy answer. Prisoner of Azkaban.
It's been a long time. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure because it's been so long since I've seen them.
That one's got the werewolf, the rat man,
Yeah, I remember what's in it. I'm just saying I can't.
Dementors. Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's the best part of like every movie he's in.
He's a good actor. I did my waiting, 12 years of it, and ask him.
I remember that.
So, good movie.
I can't remember the last movie I watched.
Like ever?
Yeah. No, just recently. Because it's been shows. Or YouTube. A lot of YouTube.
It's like watch a 3 hour. Can't sit down to watch an hour and a half movie. You're gonna watch a 3 hour documentary on like how matchsticks were invented or something.
You joke, but I would watch that. If it was well made, I would very much like to watch that. I've got a 20-minute YouTube video in my queue that I need to watch about film, for like film cameras.
It always reminds me of that some video I remember watching that like makes fun of like video essays. It's like, is SpongeBob really about capitalism? In my 11-hour review, we'll be going over some of the different SpongeBob lore. Chapter 1, The Invention of Film, 1849. It's like one of those things.
It's pretty accurate. That was like, you ever heard of Soviet Womble? He does those bullshittery videos on YouTube.
Sounds vaguely familiar. I'm not sure if I watched any of the stuff.
You might recognize it, but he did a video essay on this dinosaur game called The Isle, and it was like, I think it was like 3 parts. Never played the game before, but I like dinosaurs, so I'm like, yeah, I'll watch this. And I like video games too, so I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. It was like, and it was probably an hour and a half altogether, but it was like something about video essays. If the person doing them knows what they're talking about,
Well, there you go. It's the age of the YouTube video. A magical age where anyone can talk about anything.
Regardless of qualifications.
Speaking about someone talking about anything,
regardless of qualifications.
regardless of qualifications, you want to jump in?
We're calling ourselves out here. All right. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Audio Shop Podcast. Happy Thanks-Lynning. It's that magical time of year where we talk about all things Jeff Lynne. And as you can see by the turkey Lynn sitting on the table in front of us, as we tuck into our second helping of Out of the Blue. If you want to know the history and all that jazz, go back to the previous episode. If you're watching on Twitch now, don't worry about it. Just watch it later. You don't need to know the history for the album.
It helps give context,
yes.
But I think you can listen to it regardless.
And while you shouldn't listen to the album out of order, you can listen to the reviews out of order because you're not listening to the music.
That's true.
It's just us two schmucks talking.
Which we should say that we're in this case, since we did the first half of the review last week, this week we'll be doing the second half of the review, starting with side 3, Concerto for a Rainy Day.
Concerto for a Rainy Day.
Sorry, bless you. Starting with track number 10, Standing in the Rain.
Well, we should give a little bit of our qualifications first, Cooper. Since we made the jab about having no qualifications.
Oh, well, then go right ahead.
I should say that last year I was in the top 0.0001% of ELO listeners. So I think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to ELO.
You have listened to a lot of ELO.
I don't think I'm going to be that high this year. I'll just tell you that right now. But
I'm not sure if you're underestimating yourself or overestimating others.
I think I'm accurate because the year before that I was only in the 0.005. Last year I was in the top 0.0001.
Wow.
So
goodness.
I listened to a lot of ELO last year, and I've actually been, listening to other stuff this year. So,
Jeff Lynne owes you like a handwritten letter or something.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd frame it. I'd frame it and put it next to the poster I have of him on my wall. My little ELO shrine corner of him playing the guitar. I'm not joking, by the way. I
I know you're saying 100% the truth.
Because didn't you get it for me?
Yeah, I did.
I haven't put the little one up yet because it's exactly the same picture.
That's what makes it funny.
I'm wondering if I should just put it next to it. Like, don't talk to me or my son ever again.
Jeff and Lynn.
Anyway, let's get into it, as you were saying. So side 3, or record 2, starts with Concerto for a Rainy Day, where all 4 songs are kind of lumped together into an act, if you will. And it starts with track number 10, Standin' in the Rain.
Which starts with rain sounds appropriately. That's you're going to notice that's a running theme of this side.
It's called Concerto for a Rainy Day for a reason. But it's got don't discount the thunder that's in there too.
Yeah. And the also thunder sound effects.
The with terrifying voice saying "Concerto for a Rainy Day."
It's got a weather theme.
I mean, I guess the voice is trying to sound like thunder, but it comes out pretty scary sounding.
Yeah, a little spooked.
Not exactly fitting for doesn't vibe with the rest of the song. I'll say it that way.
That's an opener for this.
Yeah. But it's just a fun song. It's got some quick synth rhythm that gives the impression of rain falling, even though it's very regimented and sounds nothing like rain. But it gives that feeling.
No. I like it. It really plays right into the song as it kind of gets going in earnest at like the 45-second mark.
Mm-hmm. It gives a bit of breathing room as it starts the whole, because this is the intro to the whole side of the album. Really, this is 4 songs that are meant to be listened to together, and it builds itself up pretty big by the end of it. It's pretty grand for just the first song, really taking full advantage of that orchestra.
Yeah, it's a concerto. All right. Yeah, bless you. So it has a big dramatic delivery with the thunder cracks. Obviously going a lot less poppy than the first half of the album. Kind of really digging into like, okay, you made it to side 3. You're in for the ride.
Mm-hmm. It really sounds like you're listening to a full orchestra play outside in the rain, is what it is. The rock elements almost kind of get lost in there with it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't even call this song rock. I mean,
No.
it's got these interesting vocal breaks. Use of synth, obviously, but a lot more theatrical than anything.
Mm-hmm. And if you're ready, Coop, it rolls perfectly into the next song.
It does.
Track number 11.
Track number 11, Big Wheels. Which starts with this very melodic piano and kind of, synth voice intro, which I'm sure we'll never hear that particular sequence again.
No, never.
That's it.
It's much more low-key as well. It doesn't feel empty, but it's got a lot less going on, especially compared to the grand ending of Standing in the Rain.
A lot more low key, but I like that it takes it down, right? Mm-hmm. With the little electric flute thing that has going on. That just pick up energy a little bit once the percussion kicks in at like the 130 mark.
It does. And speaking of things that we'll never hear again, is it's got that choir that comes in that plays a much bigger role later in the concerto.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a tenuous tie to rain with the lyrics, but you can't have rain noises and thunder in every single song.
Yeah, it's playing with the theme.
Yeah.
Also, I really like the way the vocals stack, kind of build into 230.
This is another one of those songs that I always come back to. If I'm feeling kind of low key and want something a bit slower, I'll do this. I'll skip to this right after doing where is it? Believe Me Now and Steppin' Out. So I'll start at Believe Me Now, listen to that, Steppin' Out, skip Standing in the Rain and Big Wheels, and that's like a nice little chunk of just calm, I say calm, but it's got some pretty big hits with the instrumentals at 210. More orchestral focused of a song. The grand piano hits are not quite nice as well, with the quick single note playing. Much better than the piano solo in One More Time from Out of Nowhere. You remember that, Cooper?
Oh, yeah.
The fantastic 50-second piano solo where he plays one note.
Hey. That's still technically a solo.
It is, but God, I have to assume it was accidentally left in, because holy shit. He plays one note.
No, but yeah, I quite like the song as well. I mean, you say it's low key, but it gets pretty moving by the back end of the song.
It gets big, but not energetic.
Yeah.
Jump into track number 12 if you're ready.
Track number 12, Summer and Lightning. See? Rain, lightning.
Yeah. Famously, one of the least talked about songs.
I still think it's pretty good.
It is.
Starts with a little bit of rain sounds and thunder again.
Excuse me. It's much more cheery, though, and bright sounding, despite that thunder and lightning.
It's just like the clouds are starting to break.
Kind of gearing us up for the transition to the next one. But it's got some nice pulsing synth in it, which has some kind of distortion in it to make it go all over the place, which I really enjoy. It's got to be... Oh, no. I'm thinking of a later track.
No. This one has some, with the falsetto string backing, but also like the 50-minute. There's like that little glitchy, distorted synth backing thing going on.
The synth is always just so solid in all of these. I will say the one part of the song that's odd is the breakdown at 2:45. It's got like this kind of hoedown sound to it. And then at 3:14, it just goes back to the original structure like nothing happened. It's very, very strange in the middle of a song about rain.
Fish Posh. It rain's a theme, or at least a loose theme for the songs.
That's fair, but you still got to admit the hoedown kind of breakdown doesn't really fit with the rest of the song.
Little doesn't gel, but it's still kind of fun.
It is fun, but it's still it feels out of place. But thankfully,
the vocal harmonies are quite nice on the song, though.
Oh yeah, they're great. And the big hits are always nice. The orchestra really drives those home. And it ends with some nice soft rain noise, kind of fading out to transition us into the last track on this side.
Yep, track number 13, the hidden gem of this album, Mr. Blue Sky.
Now, most people probably won't know this song. It's arguably
one of the more obscure ones.
Yes. All joking aside, this is their most famous song.
I mean, let's see. Summer Lightning on Spotify has about 4 million plays. Pretty good. Mr. Blue Sky has 742 million plays.
Yeah. Now, I'd be curious to see, because I know this was before Guardians of the Galaxy. It was still a very popular song.
Oh, yeah.
Because Guardians didn't come out until what, like...
That was like 2000.
Well, no, it was in Guardians 2 that it was in.
Oh, the second one? No, well, yeah, this was way popular before then.
I know, but I'm just trying to think of what
I'm sure got
promoted it to such popularity before that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic song.
Oh, like the reason why it became like the ELO song?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it plays all their strong effects, right? It's, pretty theatrical. It's got the fun vocal deliveries, the pounding percussion. It's got the sound effects that they love so much. It's just like a really happy driving song.
Quite a few things Beatles.
Well, that's anything.
A Day in the Life. Basically, just kind of copy that middle section there. We don't talk about that now.
Really a copy. I mean, the Day in the Life has that kind of cheery section in the middle, but this is, okay, just do the breathing thing.
It's if you were to just play that middle section of A Day in the Life for someone, they'd be like, this sounds a lot like Mr. Blue Sky.
No, that one's a little more. That one's a less driving than Mr. Blue Sky is. Like those chunky guitar riffs with the percussion.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I'm just saying you can really hear the inspiration.
Jeff Lynne actually didn't listen to his first Beatles song until 1996.
Oh, that's a fucking lie.
And he said, "Wow, these guys are."
What is it? Didn't we already talk about shit? What song is it? Shangri-La. It's got "Faded Like the Beatles" on "Hey Jude" as a lyric, and then it says "Judy Baby."
And it was one of those things where, like, he'd heard about them, so he just kind of made the reference, but he didn't really know what he was referencing, just to get in on the joke.
Ignoring Beatles forever, and the fact that he was in Traveling Wilburys with George Harrison and has produced...
Oh, he was just a big fan of George Harrison's solo career. He didn't know he was in a band before that.
Right, of course. Anyway, back to the song. One of my favorite things about the song is the 3-tiered chorus. With the vocal line, it goes bass, and then mid, and then falsetto, which I think is nice, because there's not a lot of bass singing in ELO songs, compounded by the fact that I'm pretty sure that's not Jeff singing the bass part, because I don't think his voice can go that low.
It's a nice, almost, not like a hole in response, but like there's a lot of fun vocal play on this, besides that kind of bouncing around the octaves. There's a lot of like different vocal falsettos in the background or stacked vocals that appear at different intervals throughout the song. Mm-hmm. And it's always keeping you on your toes.
The vocals in this are just fantastic. It does get a little falsetto-y for my taste. I would like it if there was just a little bit more of that bass to kind of bass and mid to round it out.
Sure.
But the falsetto is exclusively used by the accompaniment, the vocal accompaniment. So when it just kind of leans a bit heavier that way. But man, the guitar solo does sound like a sunny day.
Oh yeah, right at the 3:45 mark.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's got these kind of choir backing and the soaring violins.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen the animated music video for this one, just taking a tangent, it's quite the trip. But I will say I don't remember if it uses the 2012 version of this song. If you ever see a 2012 ELO song, do not listen to it run.
Is it a bad mix?
No. It's not a remaster. It's a re-record.
Oh, with like modern Lynn?
With 2012 Jeff Lynne, yes.
Oh, well, his voice is not quite as high as it used to be.
So if you ever see a song that says 2012, don't listen to it. Because it is a re-record, not a remaster.
Interesting. Well, I'll try to avoid.
Because you'll know too. You'll go to listen. You're like, oh, Mr. Blue Sky, I'll listen to this, and then it'll just be wrong.
Just wrong, just incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, if you've only ever listened to the one version and you listen to it exclusively, and then you hear the other one, it's like listening to a cover. You're like, it's the same but not good.
Well, I'll be sure to avoid it then.
Good. We get some more vocoder in this one too. You gotta love the vocoder; never gets old. The cowbell goes hard as always. Not as hard as earlier on, but there's, I would say, I'm gonna be controversial here, Cooper. There's a little bit of miracle musical disease going on here. The song technically ends at like 3:45, and then we've still got minute 15 left, and it's just another song.
I like that. So that's the theatrical version. It's not like his own little mini song. It kind of leads out the side, right, in a very dramatic fashion.
Mm-hmm. Especially with that the orchestra and the choir going together. I mean, he's got a little tie-in at the end with the vocoder. And I mean, it's very bright and sunny sounding, so that ties it in too. But otherwise, it's just kind of like they've got that. There's a reason they cut it off in the radio edit. It is good, but technically the song ends at like 3:45.
Well, I mean, it's a very good way to end out the side.
Mm-hmm.
Not the album, though. Not the album.
No, it would be a very good end to the album, though. But we've still got a whole other side left. Jumping to the side 2 of record 2, track number 14.
Yes, Sweet is the Night. Patient is the Night.
No, different song.
Oh, sorry. Sweet is the Night.
And I'm a big fan of the guitar in this one. At the start, it has a very interesting filter on it. It almost sounds like their very early stuff, like first 3 albums, when it was just shitty microphones. Very rough sounding. Yeah,
like the first side is like the pop hits, right? And the second side is like the more kind of chiller songs. And side 3, of course, has its whole like a little rain theme going on. This side's like kind of more odds and ends.
If you say B-sides, I'm going to hit you next time I see you.
I said odds and ends. I didn't say B-sides.
Because
like this one, like you said, this one's a little bit more of a throwback. The vocal delivery is almost like Bob Dylan-esque.
No. This is...
Yes.
No. He
talks like this.
It's old ELO style. This sounds very similar.
If you're listening through the song, Sam,
albums.
And you just put an ear to that vocal delivery, you have to admit the way he speaks his words.
Oh, the more speaking section, sure. But I'm talking about like the chorus.
Yeah, I'm talking like the verse.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll agree there. I'll
young Bob Dylan delivery.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
You wonder if he's a fan of him too?
Probably not.
Jeff Lynne actually didn't realize who Bob Dylan was until 2018 when he released his 18-minute song on
about the JFK assassination. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm really drawn to the song just because it does sound so early ELO. It's such a throwback. It is. I just love it. It's one of my favorite songs on the album. Honestly, though, it's hard to compare them all because there's so many just bangers on this album. The chorus,
and in different ways too.
Yeah, the chorus is just so different in this one with some fantastic harmonies and heavily layered vocals. It's just got fun synth everywhere. Oh, it's just ooh.
fun little throwback to their earlier style. Obviously, still not being too disconnected from their current style, but
Mm-hmm.
certainly if you're like, okay, it's a little something different.
And it's somewhat of a perfect example of the marriage of the rock and the orchestral elements, in my opinion. It just goes together so well in this track. It's such a I would say this is such a hidden gem, even though it is. And again, it's on their most popular album, so people know it. But you don't hear "Sweet as the Night" on the radio. You hear "Mr. Blue Sky."
I mean, yeah, that you hear Mr. Blue Sky over every other ELO song.
That's true. "Don't Bring Me Down." That's played quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of ELO songs that you'll never hear on the radio, if you want to move on, Coop.
Oh, Lord. Track number 15, The Whale.
And not talking about the new Brendan Fraser movie.
No. We're talking about the Electric Light Orchestra song. As I recall, it was way back in my college days. I was walking by Sam's room, in which he waved me in and said, "Hey, check this out." And then he played The Whale in its entirety.
It is a fantastic song. It is.
It gets. I admit I didn't appreciate it as much at the time of why you were playing this kind of weird, trippy whale song.
But it starts with this bubbly electronica that breaks into the vocalist of the track, a blue whale, or humpback whale. Sorry. It's got some extra bubbly synth that comes in after the whale song. It sounds like a noise filter almost, where they've limited it to a very small range, and it just flips between the notes crazily. And there's some kind of heavy dripping water in the back too, or some large bubbles coming up through water.
This is a pure instrumental song that is just made. Well, like I said, this is why. Well, yeah, it's basically all instrumental.
There is some very filtered vocals on occasion.
But so filtered that like you can barely really even tell they're vocals.
Yeah, you can't hear a word they're saying.
But this is why I'm saying like this side's the odds and ends, right? Because Treat at Night is like a throwback song. This one's like a trippy experimental like just like synth groove.
Oh yeah, especially when it breaks into that main.
Oh, the 145. Yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like you're just like floating through space with some cosmic whales.
Mm-hmm. The synth, the extremely high violin, it's kind of calm yet haunting.
Oh yeah, this is some strong instrumental work. You're gonna sit back, close your eyes, and get absorbed in the song.
Mm-hmm. You really vibe to it. At the ending, it's a bit long in the tooth in the end, but it kind of it deserves that extended fade that really fits with the vibe. It's got to separate itself somehow. It doesn't, like you said, odds and ends. You can't really flow super easily between tracks here.
Oh yeah, these are all pretty miscellaneous tracks. But I appreciate how they're kind of all put in this own series. Like, hey, okay, have some extras.
Mm-hmm. And we're not lacking quality either.
No. Just thematic cohesion.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of hard to beat the thematic cohesion of Concerto for a Rainy Day,
Yeah, exactly.
Jump into track 16 if you're ready, Coop.
Speaking of cohesion, track number 16, Birmingham Blues.
I'll admit, the start of this one makes me skip it quite a lot. Just because I always forget what the rest of the song sounds like. The beginning of this is so different and kind of odd. I'm not really sure why it's there. It's just kind of some held violin before it cuts off and the real song starts.
It's like this very empty held violin for like 10 seconds before it busts into an honest to goodness blues track.
But kind of, again, in that older ELO style, the microphones sound a bit more rough around the edges. Same for the vocals.
Yeah. And I mean, I appreciate that ELO, puts like orchestra or violin on each of their songs. It kind of adds to like their like album cohesion and works for the most part. But I'm not sure if you can throw violin on a blues track.
I think the violin fits here.
Oh, I do not think so.
Really?
No. It's a little more sore thumb on this one than out of any of them. I mean, it's followed by an honest to goodness clap break.
Yeah, the dreaded 2-1 or 1-2 clap. No, didn't like that. But it drops, and we get some great bit of acoustic guitar and some more instruments as a duet in the second verse. I'm a big fan of that section.
I mean, there's some fun stuff on this. The instrumental break, the kind of wobbly guitar at 2:30.
You gotta love the
Jeff Lynne loves his throwback songs.
Yes. You gotta love the vocal train horn as well. Woo woo, all over the place.
Which is, it's clear that they're having a bit of fun on this song.
Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of Jeff's ventures into this particular genre of music. Clearly he likes it, but I'm not sure if it always the my cup of tea.
It's not one of the best songs on the album, but I do enjoy it. When I do sit down and listen to it, I always enjoy it. Because it's just got that. I'm a big fan of early ELO. Out of all the early ELO albums, I probably listened to their first album the most, which has the Battle of Marston Moor on it. So
yeah, well, you're a weirdo.
We'll have to do that album at some point because God, I love that.
We will.
You just will not like it.
I've heard it. I mean, it's got good songs. It's very very esoteric.
Yes,
in a lot of ways. It's like if they took the side of the album and just made it an album.
Turn against God and your own people.
But I digress.
We can jump to the last track if you're ready.
That's the last track of the album. What better way to end out this album than with track number 17, Wild West Hero, which does start with some honky-tonk piano, but it luckily is not a Western song.
Yeah, it starts with some really jangly piano before breaking out the grand piano. And if you'll remember, that jangly piano is Melvin Gale, and he was uncredited for that.
I did not know that.
I just remember because he was uncredited.
Wow.
Which is odd. But yeah, man, it's got some great harmonies, and it just romanticizes the hell out of the Wild West.
Which is... I mean, that's not unique to Jeff.
No.
I mean, though I'm not sure how much a British-born man knows about the Wild West.
Not a lot. Shown by the fact that there's electric guitars to fit into the Western theme, but which actually mesh somehow very well when you've got jangle piano going over the top of it and some fiddles. Technically, I guess they are violins, but they're played more like fiddles in this one.
Yeah, it's played subtly, or at least more subtle than, you could go with a Western song or a tribute to the Western. I mean, it's got like an odd little breakdown at like the 1:30 mark. That like chunky guitar comes in and like the piano just goes off.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a song's a lot more subdued.
Yeah, especially at the 2:40 mark with the vocal breakdown, where everything drops out except for the vocal harmonies. And oh man, love that section. You get a good breakdown of just the harmonies singing there, and then the instruments come back in to bring us to the end of the song.
It's a weird track to end on.
I think it works really well. You've got that really big build up to the end of the song and album. It really gets nice and grand. You got the rock elements, you've got the orchestral elements, you've got the vocals, and then that all kind of just drops out, and it ends with a very, guitar, piano, and very simple vocals to end it, which I think is very fitting.
A bit of a grand ending, but just the thematic that ends on a Western tale.
Such a good song, though. This is probably one of my most played songs on this album. Just because it's just fun. It's a fun song.
It's fun.
I love the harmonies. I think the harmonies do a lot for me in this one.
This has some good vocal harmonies.
But that's the end of the album. Unless you got anything else to add, Coop?
No, I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's the whole shebang. All she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
So now we've got to pick our favorites and least favorites.
That's true.
Let's do least favorites first to give me the most time to think about which song I'm gonna have to pick for my favorite, because holy shit, that's gonna be hard. So what's your least favorite song on this album, Coop?
Oh, my least favorite song, it's got to be Birmingham Blues.
Boo.
I'm pretty to be fair, I'm pretty consistent on this. Of every time Jeff Lynne tries to go for some sort of honky tonk, like 50s throwback song, it just never gels with me, and I think that's applies here as well.
Boo.
To be fair, I think in terms of his throwback songs, this is one of his better ones. But the violins don't really gel with the rest of the track. It has fun, but it's a total skip for me.
Get better opinions.
Okay, what is your worst song then, Sam? Correct me. Fine, tell me what is the worst one.
Across the Border. It's the trumpets are good.
Oh, really?
But the Spanish style, it's a fine song. But I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan. The vocals aren't super strong. It's got a really good the instrumental breakdown at the 2:30 mark, but I don't know. The ending is much. I think it's the fact that the ending is really good, and the beginning of the first half of the song is just kind of forgettable. The end of the song is great, and let me clarify in saying it might be my least favorite, but it is not a horrible song at any stretch.
Fair. That definitely wasn't my favorite one off this album, but
Then what was your favorite, Cooper? What's your favorite song on this album?
I had to think long and hard because this album's got some good songs.
It's got fantastic songs,
some real bangers. And I wanted to be a special snowflake. I wanted to be different, but I had to go and choose Mr. Blue Sky.
Basic.
It's a basic ass choice. I agree.
You got your Starbucks sitting next to you.
Yes, I got my Starbucks
pumpkin spice latte.
I've got my pumpkin spice latte.
Uggs.
It's a very basic choice, but I think it's the one the most played for a good reason. I mean, it's basically the quintessential, ELO song, right?
Yeah.
Fun vocal effects, great instrumentation. Jumps around in unexpected ways, but it has like a nice build and payoff. It's just everything you want out of an ELO song. And it's like this grand ending to the thematic end of the album. I don't know. It's hard to get more, happy-go-lucky and like thematically consistent than Mr. Blue Sky. So I just gotta say I love it. How about you, Sam? Can you choose a favorite song?
Oh, no, but I can tell you what I'm feeling right now. it changes based on mood, because especially since I just listened to Sweet Talking Woman like Friday, and then I went on to listen to most of the other songs. I think Believe Me Now / Steppin' Out is a strong contender for my favorite. Just those two songs in quotations, I think they should be considered one, like foreplay / long time from Boston. It's such a nice little, just very relaxing. It has the big hits, the grand orchestra, the good harmonies in there. It's just nice. It's very good. I mean, you also gotta talk about Sweet Talking Woman, Mr. Blue Sky, Sweet as the Night, Wild West Hero. It's just so many good songs on this album, and
got some good songs on this album.
So few misses as well, because the highs are high, but the lows are not very low, which I think really helps to elevate this album.
Yeah, I quite agree. I think you could make a lot of good case for different songs being your favorite song of this album.
Mm-hmm. But I will say, I probably do listen to Wild West Hero the most, just because
that is surprising.
I really like singing to that one.
It's a good song, but definitely not the best on the album, in my opinion.
Not the best, but it is fun to sing to. Also, it's really easy to get to. Being the last song on the album doesn't take a lot of navigation to get there. But we gotta rate it now, Cooper. We do. So you wanna give the rating system? I don't remember who did it last time. It's been a hot second.
I'll give it a rating because here at the Audio Shop podcast, me and Sam own cars, both of us.
Brand new.
Sam just recently got a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you took it into the shop and you said, this is right as rain. You tinkered with the combobulator.
Mm-hmm.
You got your headlight fluid checked.
Mm-hmm.
You did everything you should with that new
premium
car.
air in the tires. Got to get the premium.
Oh
air.
yeah, and the premium air in the airbag. Mm-hmm. Everyone forgets about that one. So not a dollar well spent.
No, not a dollar wasted, Cooper. That's what you're
No, not well spent. So that's what we're saying is that we know a thing or two about cars, and that somehow translates over to knowledge about music, and thus we have our. Sense. It's a 1-to-1. So for our rating system, at the tip top, we have showroom. Right, this is the cream of the crop, the best of the best. The stuff that you always want to listen to. And then all the way at the bottom, you have scrapyard, bottom of the barrel, the ooh, don't touch me, get it away from me, garbo music. And then we have like new, fixer upper, use rental in between. And we'll give it a high or low depending on the day that we're feeling. With all that said, Sam, what would you give this album?
I feel like you really don't even have to ask me. It's showroom. It's showroom. Like, come on. It's ELO. I love every song on the album. It's showroom. You gotta listen to it. It's their most popular album. It's the one with fucking Mr. Blue Sky on it. Go listen to it, and listen to it from start to finish. Don't pick and choose. Well, you can pick and choose songs, but don't hit shuffle. What about you, Coop? What's your take on this album?
I have to give it probably a low like new. I'm joking. It's actually a showroom. It really is a solid album. I mean, hour 10 minutes long, right? So, it's a bigger album, but very few misses. Mm-hmm. Each side kind of offers its own little, strength. I think side 3 is my personal favorite, but I think that there's something good on each side. And there's a couple songs that are maybe a little so-so, or, I don't care for that particular genre. But all in all, it's hard to say that, I don't thoroughly enjoy listening to this album every time I return to it. It's a reason it's got one of the most beloved rock songs of all time, and mm-hmm. and you could even argue that's not even the best song in the album.
Yeah.
So this is a fantastic album, front to back. Many consider it ELO's magnum opus.
That would be tough.
There's also argument for that, but yeah, this is just a fantastic listen.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of goes to show the reason that we do Thanks-Lynning every year. Jeff Lynne wrote this in fucking 3.5 weeks. Imagine making one of the best albums of all time. Just I'm going to write this now.
Man cranked it out in less than a month.
Yeah. That's pretty dang impressive. And with that, that's the end of our review. Now we're going to roll on over to the spare tire, which is whatever else we've been listening to. I'll go first because I probably don't have as much as Cooper does.
No, bring it on.
Did I mention I listened to the new Sailhouse album last week?
You mentioned it to me.
I think I listened to it this week. So I listened to the new Snailhouse album. It was okay. I didn't get around to listening to the several new Gizzard albums. But I did I revisited Gorillaz tracks that they've released for their upcoming album. Because I don't actually think I had listened to the second one. I can't remember what it's called. Shit. Do you remember what it's called?
The most recent Gorillaz song?
Yeah, there was Cracker Island was the one before it.
What's that called? Gold something?
Maybe.
New Gold.
Is
that the one?
I like Cracker Island a lot more, I'll be honest.
I thought it was a pretty good song as well.
It is good, but not as good as Cracker Island, in my opinion. But we'll see. I'm anxious for the new album to come out. It should be pretty good. I noticed they've got a shit ton of merch. They link their merch to Spotify, and you can buy a exclusive purple vinyl for
Ooh.
the new album before it even comes out. They got a lot of stuff. You can buy tapes. They're selling tapes of it.
No, this is they like their merch gorillas.
Yeah.
But to be fair, people buy them, so.
Yeah, they're selling a limited edition print. They've only got 1,000 of them.
Whew,
and it's only
pretty limited.
$18. So yeah, it's interesting. And then I guess that's really all I listened to. I did a lot of I did some early ELO again. I listened to No Answer all the way through. I listened to Zoom all the way through. I listened to Discovery all the way through. I listened to Time all the way through. I listened to Secret Messages all the way through. It was I listened to Balance of Power all the way through.
Wow.
It was just a stressful week. I was at my computer at work a lot, so I just popped my headphones in and just listened to the albums all the way through. I wanted something familiar and comforting as I bashed my head against the wall. I will listen. I have all the King Gizzard albums downloaded. I will listen to them. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Hey, take your time. Do it on your own time.
What about you, Coop? What have you listened to?
Well, Brockhampton released a few albums this week.
Few?
Two. I should say. It's their last two albums, so they kind of want to end on a double album note.
Oh, they're breaking up.
Yeah, it's their official last albums, which were pretty good. I'm always a big fan of Brockhampton. Also, Phony People released a new album as well that I listened to and I quite liked. I'm quite a fan of theirs. Have one of their long sleeves I bought on a concert when I saw them live. But beyond that, not too much new this week. Just a couple new releases that I was catching up on.
That's nice. I forgot to mention, I also did a little bit of, for some reason I didn't have Abracadabra by Steve Miller Band downloaded. That's one of my favorite songs of theirs, so I listened to that way too many times. And Mars and Venus and Mars by the Wings. Sorry, just Wings. The Venus and Mars reprise get stuck in my head so easily, and they're so short that I just listen to them all the time. So yeah, a lot of ELO for me this week, more so than usual. But it's been a very stressful week, so had to get to my comfort zone, get to my happy place while banging my head against my work laptop for way more. I worked an extra hour this week, so it was a long one.
Yeah, well, now that ELO is the medicine, is the sugar that helps the medicine go down.
I haven't met a situation yet that listening to Time couldn't make me feel better, so. And I doubt I'll ever find it. Anyway, that's all we got for this week. No show next week because of Thanksgiving. I imagine we're both going to be traveling a little bit.
Correct.
And if you've liked what you heard and you want to listen to the first half of this review, you can go to YouTube. Scroll down on the Twitch channel. There's the picture of Jeff Lynne. He's the guy with the aviators and the fake afro. Click that. It'll take you to YouTube where all the past episodes are. And if you're listening on YouTube now, in the description is a link to our Twitch, where usually 8 p.m. Eastern on Sundays, we listen to our albums. And Cooper, if Twitter still happens to exist by this time in 2 weeks, it's looking less and less likely by the day. I mean, I know I joked about it last week, but holy shit, like it seems to be crashing and burning a lot faster than I thought it would.
Hey, well, you got to get in while it gets hot, because you can follow us at AudioShotPod. That's POD. Assuming Twitter still exists, we'll let you know what we're listening to. Like Sam said, we'll be off next week, but we'll be trying to return the week after, before the holidays. Maybe we'll have to do another Christmas album.
Yeah, we'll have to figure something out.
See if we can find a good one.
Yeah.
Because I recall last year we did Bublé's, I recall.
Yeah, we did Bublé and then we did Sinatra.
Yes.
And Bublé was not very good. Maybe we should
Santa buddy.
Maybe we should do the Drifters this year. You know
They
it?
have a Christmas album. Oh, that's them. Okay.
The best version of White Christmas.
Yeah, well, to shop around, see what. I'm sure there's a couple of Christmas albums out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't want to do Mariah Carey. I refuse on principle because she tried to copyright the Queen of Christmas. She even tried to copyright just QOC, and it was a copyright that would cover literally everything. Like you put it on a candle, she would get money. It's bullshit. She got rejected, but on principle alone, I say no Mariah Carey.
Yeah, we don't have to. I wasn't really itching to do Mariah Carey anyways, so
Although
I'm in
we did do
agreement there.
Santana, and that was a complete cash grab of a fucking album, so I guess we shouldn't judge it.
It's a Christmas album. I mean, they're usually not doing it for the love of the holiday.
Yeah, that's true. God, that Santana album. I need to stop thinking about it. I just looked. That was a year ago, by the way, and it still feels so fresh. It has been a long time since we listened to that album, and it still haunts me. Anyway, we should wrap it up here.
Yep, that'll be it. So please join us next time.
Yeah. See you later.
See you later, shoppies.
See you.